Understanding that creativity is an addiction is an openness to understanding why it is that you do what you do. No matter what you think at any time of the day, no matter what you have as a profession, you're constantly creating. That's what you're born to do. But so many times people complain that I'm not good enough, or they like to turn themselves into perfectionists because they feel I'm not good enough. Yeah, but you are good enough. You hold that gift. Learn to love it and listen to it and see why you've been called to bring that gift forward. Unplug, because we will always say yes to creativity, totally uncut, because we all make mistakes. So turn it into a tool. This is Arroe Unplugged. And there you are. How are you? How have you been? Everything going okay? What's your new go-to? What you doing to find that that burst of energy? Still looking for one? I think we all are. You know, we find like a Red Bull or a Monster drink. I mean, there are so many different power drinks out there now. It's like, I don't care. They make me feel shaky. I'll still take my hot cup of coffee in the morning. A page will sit silent until the writer is blessed with the inspiration to spill ink. That's what it's like to be a daily writer. Creating sentences is a blessed opportunity. I mean, easily, I could have chosen to just scribble today, to smear nothingness onto the surface of this giving tree. So many book authors have actually told me that you cannot be a great writer unless you're a very good reader. They never say what you have to read. They just say you just got to read. You got to be doing it. So what is your choice of connection today? What are your eyes going to tap into? Now, for me, I think it's because I'm a broadcaster. I center all of my attention on being up to date with current events. If I don't find ink, my creative beast will locate another outlet. It has to keep moving, or the inner core is going to feel trapped. Writing is movement. It's the movement of untapped thoughts. And once it begins to move, as does the rest of your body, which is why I write with a writing instrument. It involves the muscles in my hand, which are connected to my arm, my shoulder, my back. This page could not be if I had kept silent. Hey, it's Arroe. This is The Daily Mess, a chronological walk through an everyday world. I'm a daily writer. Been doing this. We said this since July of 1994. And you just find yourself sitting here going, I'm going to breathe today. And it's going to start with just putting words on a page. I'm going to clear my thoughts. I'm going to clear my soul. I'm going to get the weight off my shoulders. That's what writing does. It just opens the door. I'm not saying that you have to write a book every day. It's just 3 pages for me. That's it. A lesson that I learned from The Artist Way from Julia Cameron. This is The Daily Mess. Absolutely fascinated with this writing instrument. And all the instruments that I have, because some of them have ink bladders, some of them have ink replacement cartridges, and others are just a refill. You know, a little silver thing or a gold thing. It's just a refill. When the source of energy begins to run dry, my creative mind feels amazingly grateful. While full, those tiny tubes on a rollerball pin blessed my atmosphere with thought. A daily journey completely unpredicted. Now, when I dip into the well, I do it the old-fashioned way. I don't fill up the fountain pens with ink in the bladder. What I do is I like to dip, come on over here and write, dip, go back to the well and write. I love that feeling. It's like playing a musical instrument. I always embrace the constant, which arrives with the activation of the imagination. From its energy, new ideas take first steps. Old ideas gain in strength because of a creative relationship that's better understood. See, how many times have you found yourself feeling like you walk in circles? I don't like that feeling where things feel like that they're happening over and over again. The goal is to push yourself forward by way of gaining the confidence to have a voice, a place, an openness, and not a closed-off mind. I don't want to be that old man with stale ambitions. To get to my destination requires what? Change. Oh, that word. Change. And we could put a lot of focus on that right there, because these days in 2022, hey, I got $10. Can I have $10 worth of quarters? We don't sell quarters anymore because there's not enough change. Well, in the real world, there is a lot of change. And what we have to do is that we have to figure out where it's going to appear in our mind, body, and soul. It's time to activate something in your life so that that circle can stop creating other circles. Giving life to what you study. What does that even mean? Giving life to what you study. We take in so much content on a daily basis that your whole entire body is consumed. Is there even enough room in there for an apple? All of this content is designed by people in big corporations that want you to keep coming back to their website. The more times you go back, the more advertising they can get. So they design stories that are incomplete, or they change the headline because, oh my God, there's a new story here on CNN.com. Oh, let me read it. Oh, I just read this story 45 minutes ago. They just change the headlines. The content that is moving through you at all times controls everything that you're doing. How many times have you said something to someone in your house, and all of a sudden that product you're talking about shows up as an advertisement on Facebook? Content. They want your content too. They want your input. But the question is, what kind of a voice do you want to be? As things begin to build in Ukraine, Russia on this side, the United States on this side, what is the content builder here? What is the system of choices that's going to be moving through you if something breaks out? Do we suddenly forget that there's a pandemic? Remember the first pandemic back in the early part of the 1900s, 1918? Do you know what happened there too? We went to war. How about this time around? We don't go to war. We learn from the mistakes that we did. How do we learn from it? By putting people first and not politics.